Let's get it, guys. Key number 14 in this seductive course. And number 14 is to be touchy. Now, what being touchy essentially does is it sets you apart from friend and then more than a friend, right? It's if she doesn't feel comfortable with you touching her, you're just somebody else. She could be nice to you. That's how you get friend zoned, and that's how if you want to be friends with the woman, then don't be touchy. That would be, and if you want to be more than friends with her, be touchy, because that's what sets you apart from all the other guys that are trying to get at her and not being touchy. She's not comfortable with those guys physically yet. So the first point is to make her feel comfortable with you touching her early, because if you do that, well, then as the process goes on, she's just being more and more comfortable with you. So like I said in the beginning of the course, it's not just words that go into seduction. It's a lot of the body language. It's a lot of everything else that you do. And part of that is being touchy, being physical, because if you're not, you're stuck with everyone else that isn't doing it, and you're left behind everyone that is doing it. She doesn't have that physical comfort level with you, which is very important if you want to do anything physical with her. So you have to be touchy, and you have to make her feel comfortable with you touching her early. It doesn't just go from you guys are talking and then all of a sudden she's just super comfortable with you having your arms on her. Early on, that's why, people do activities on dates that kind of involve being touchy, because that just creates that sense of protection, sense of comfortableness, having you touching her and being physical. So that's the first point. And then the second point is to set you apart from all the other men who are being distant with her. What I just said, right? And then the next one is this lets her know you're comfortable with yourself and being touchy with others. So that's another big one. Not only is she going to be comfortable because you're touching her and she's getting used to it, but you're showing her that you're comfortable with doing it. So that just makes her feel, it's normal. This guy's just like that. He's touchy. He's cool. I'm very comfortable with it. So right here, you're not touching her, and you're not going to make her think, oh, all right, this guy is, I'm in love with this guy or whatever, he's touching me. He has the Midas touch, whatever. It's not like that. It's you're touching her and you're letting her know that you're okay with that, and you're making her feel okay with it. So as you keep going on with your seduction process, she's just going to feel more. You already closed the physical side. You already did that. So now it's just getting her to fall for you and who you are. You've already established that physical kind of comfortableness and connection that you guys could just touch each other or whatever. It's like if you have a friend, if you're not friends with somebody, how okay with you touching them are they, right? So if you just kind of playfully do it early on and show it that it's coming out of your character, it's coming out of goodness, that you're comfortable with doing it, that they should be okay with letting you do it kind of thing, that's what creates that sense of security between them and you and her, and makes it okay. So that way she'll feel comfortable with you touching her when you do it confidently. That's why I'm telling you guys that why these nice guys finish last is because why they go up to women and they're so hesitant with everything they do. They're like, do I touch her? Do I not? They stick their hand out. They don't even, what do I do? And it's just like, it comes off as awkward, and the woman don't want to be touched by a guy that's awkward. So when you see a life of the party kind of guy coming in and hugging everyone and shaking everybody's hand, what is your natural instinct to do? Hug them or shake their hand back. So that's what creates that sense of security, is when you do it with confidence, and when you do it and then they become comfortable with you, and then you have that physical side wrapped up. And the next point is this helps plant in her mind that you are interested in something physical and that you're more than ready for it. So like I said, really with the touching, especially in the beginning, the first few touches, they're just going to be little ones on the arm or whatever. You're so interested in her, you're attracted to her, you're giving her your full attention, so she's not really too uncomfortable with you touching her if she's giving you her attention as well, because you guys are building that rapport. It also does help plant in her mind that you do want something, for you're a physical kind of person. So that's what I'm saying, the two kind of go hand in hand. If you're seducing her very well and with your words and your body language and everything's going well, then that touching is just letting her know that we could be physical as well. And that's when your seduction doesn't go to waste. It's not like she's waiting for you to make some kind of move to touch her or anything. You're establishing all that in the beginning, so that way when you do go for the big move, the kiss, it's so much easier, because it's not going to be the first time you guys are making physical contact, right? You guys are already being comfortable with each other, playfully building rapport. So be touchy. That's big in seduction. That's the point. Be touchy. Like I said, friend zone happens to guys that aren't touchy. It makes the move to go for the physical contact harder as the more you put it off. That's all it is. So it's easier for you to mess up later on, even when in the seductive process, if you don't just do it right away, because then it's like, when do I do it? When's the appropriate time? And then unless you have a special time waiting for you to grab her by your arms or whatever, I don't know. Like I said, everybody's gonna be different. But I find success, being touchy early on, going up to her, saying hi, approaching her, grabbing her by the arm, not by the arm, but, touching her arm, saying she has a nice shirt, grabbing it a little bit. And later on, as we're talking even more, it's like you can say you have nice hair and touch her hair. I wouldn't go for that in the beginning because women are very sensitive to things like that, especially if she doesn't know who you are. But, like I said, as you're building rapport, as you're going through the whole process, things just have to click. They have to seem natural. Go with the flow. Be confident and just be there and be touchy. And not too much, or maybe a lot. Like I said, guys that succeed with very feminine traits and characteristics, they're very touchy, and women are okay with it because they can sense their feminism. They can kind of see themselves, I guess, in that guy. So being touchy definitely works with the feminine approach, being very touchy. But if not, if you have more of a cold approach, or even if a humorous one or whatever, just make sure to incorporate some kind of touching and feelingness in there with her. So that's key number 14. Be touchy, study it, remember it, practice it, and let's get into key number 15.